As much as we're going to be relying on print in these projects and crafting stories and images and visuals and words, we're also going to use actual visuals in the form of multimedia. So let's take a look at the kind of tools that we're going to be utilizing. And one of the big questions that we have every time we approach a story with multimedia is why? Why are we using any form of medium within the story? Why is a video going to help this project? Why will a slideshow? Why will just still photos embedded in the project? Why will audio? All of the things that we bring together, including data, all of these things have to be considered before we utilize them. Why are we doing it? What are they adding to the project? And how will they help with the overall understanding for the consumer of this project? Let's take a look at video first. It's a pretty popular one to add and one that I definitely plan for you to have in your projects. When we use video, it's often to convey some sort of action. The idea of motion in video is pretty important. If there's not a lot of action happening, it's just people talking, or there's something that we want to be focusing on more specifically, we have to really reconsider whether or not video is our best approach. This is what puts you in the scene. Audio and video interweave together to make you feel like you're really in an environment. So as something circumstantially is going on around you, video would be a wonderful way to see and hear directly and really get a feel for what's happening right now. Now, photos have been utilized with print stories since the beginning of the camera, certainly, but what we want to look for them is how they can convey for us this kind of stoppage of time. What is happening? What's the truth of a situation? How can you freeze a frame so that we can see it and analyze it and feel like there's more that we have, it has more impact on us because we have time to look at it. There's no language required here, there's no worry about sound, but there is a concern about what's being depicted in the picture. Is it something that is really conveying something important, something that means something to the rest of the story? Just have a snapshot of a street corner or something on the ground is not really telling anything. Very often you want to have some live element in your photos, human, animal. You want to be paying very close attention to composition. I love this photo for so many reasons. The way it's composed, what it depicts, the moment in time that it captures. And really that's why I have this picture right here for you, is for you to consider all of these things when you use photos in your project, which you definitely will in this one. Audio is a very key component to bringing voices to life, as you might guess, bringing environmental circumstances. One of our modules, we listen to This American Life and see how much they do with audio. You have an entire story taking place without any visuals for you, yet you have no trouble seeing what's going on. So we really need to be grasping hold of the importance of quality audio, getting close to your subject, getting the microphone very close to your subject, making sure that you hear the noises that are all around you before you're recording audio. So whatever noises you hear are going to be picked up in the audio itself. That kind of incorporation of the sound is going to help with our oral understanding of what the story is. We consider sound to be what we call theater of the mind, because you have to fill in a lot of the visuals yourself. But it's a great way to really just kind of bring a circumstance to life. Think about just the sound of birds chirping in the morning. That conveys to you all kinds of activity that's going on outside that you may not be able to see. So I want you to think about how you could incorporate audio, and often we do this with photos because it's a challenge to get people committed to listening to audio by itself. So think about how maybe you can interweave it with other elements of medium. Here's an example of how we do it. I've actually embedded this in our iTunes U course for you. It's an audio slideshow. This is one about an artificial eye maker. And this is layering images and sound to really get to see a story being told in multiple ways. So this is where you want to be capturing that moment in a way that video can't, but you still want the audio to support it. A slideshow would be a great tool for that. Now, all of your projects should really have some aspect of data to them. Data's objectivity. Data is, there's a purity to it that shows us what the story really is without any subjectivity being inserted into it. And we can use data to help us envision more what is the context of a story and why it has importance to us. We're going to look at making data interactive, about how we can verify some of the information that you're putting in there. So if you're doing something about blood donors and we have them talking about the decline in blood donation, we don't know what that means. Is that a decline from 5 million to 4.95 million, and what does that mean? Is that a decline from 100 to 50? That feels like a much bigger decline, although the number is smaller. So it's going to show us the kind of relation. It's going to give something for reference that the viewers of our project will be able to go back and say, oh, let me understand this a little bit more deeply. Similar to data, incorporating it in a very similar way is this idea of data visualization. And what we're going to do is to create visually compelling ways that people can understand data. Yes, I can understand data in a pie chart. Yes, I can understand it in a bar graph. All of the or even in an Excel spreadsheet, I may be able to understand it. I may be able to view it, but most people truly can't comprehend what it means. So these kind of visualizations are going to give us a spatial understanding and really start to chunk the information out so that we can get a good feel for what it means to us and see what's inside of it. And you'll see on the iTunes U course, there's a multitude of programs that are available to help you with data visualization. I've given you a variety of examples related to data about how we can use it for statistics. We can use it in timelines. We can go where humans can't go. I've given you this graphic about the Space Shuttle Columbia. We can geolocate events and stories. Maps are an amazing way to connect people to things. So all of these different aspects are going to come into play in this project.